This is just about the crew. It's all about the crew. Doyle, Cal, Mal, Mike, Duckett. They're all just crazy, creative entrepreneurs, but also like best friends, and everyone's so down to help each other, and it's just so positive. They've helped me so much. Like, they support no matter what. So many times when, you know, no one else believed, they were the ones that were like, no, you gotta go and chase your dreams. You have to do this.
The crew move too tight, that's how we do life. There's all my people, pure gold.
This beat I'm actually really proud of because I've never had such a crazy, like, in focus moment in my life. I, you know, made it one night at like midnight, hopped in the booth, recorded till about 5 a.m. Then I drove to the airport, got on the flight, landed in New York at like 9 a.m. Worked on it all that night, and then all the next day until 9 p.m. That was the deadline. I had to have this last song in on the album for mastering, and sent the email, and it made it on the album. So when I pulled up the session in the hotel, all I had were all of the vocals, like tons and tons and tons of vocals, because I just recorded as much as I possibly could before I left. And then I had just this synth pad that kind of ran through the whole thing. And so the first thing I did was I threw on some drums. This had that swing to it, so I really liked that. And then I added a couple hi-hats and just a couple percussion things to accentuate that swing. You can hear that percussion in the background. It's kind of late, but it really accentuates that like late kick in there too. So I really wanted this bass to interact with the things that I was going to add in the upper frequencies. So I tried to program in something that sounded big but also was tight and kind of sounded like a tom in a way, so that that percussion sound that was swinging would play with it real nice. I didn't want to have like a big refrain or chorus of vocals, so I knew there was space in the frequency spectrum to put, you know, some instruments. There's a lot of things in the computer that will try to act like real horns or try to be real horns, and they're just never convincing. So instead of trying to go for that real sound, I wanted to use something that really sounded like a sample. So it's like a horn playing a C on a trumpet. And on the sampler, you can pitch it up and layer multiple instances of this thing, but it gives it a different texture because the pitched up samples or pitched down samples are gonna get stretched and distorted. I really wanted something that was like a pad on the bottom, or just some, you know, not a low sound, but a mid sound that was soft. And I went back and found these harmonies that I had kind of forgot about, and I actually had on a different part of the song. They don't compete with the brass, or, you know, I wanted room to add some other stuff later too, so they kind of sit in those mids, but are kind of a little murky. So those were subtle, but then I wanted something not subtle. So I went back and I took a look at all these vocals, and one of the ones that jumped out to me was, it was me saying, oh, whoa, about that speed. So I put it up on the machine and I pitched it up one time and it became this. That was cool, saved it on a pad, got a new pad, pitched it up another time, and it became this, and I kind of cut off the end of this with just a normal part of my voice, because I sort of love going between the super affected out crazy stuff and then just my normal voice. So it was this after I pitched it up twice. Which now, that's an interesting sound. I mean, it moves really weird. It doesn't sound like an instrument, but it kind of does. It doesn't sound like a vocal, but it kind of does. mad dash to finish the mix, and I finished it with literally 2 minutes left, I think. Had to be turned in at 9. I think I sent the final email at 8:58 with the final mix that I was happy with.
The cool move too tight.